We're continuing to follow conversations surrounding the city's new contract agreement with the Houston Professional Firefighters Association.
Our CW39 Houston's Paige Hubbard has been following this issue closely and joins us now live with a recap of what unfolded this week.
Sharon and Eo, earlier this week, council members Edward Pollard and Tiffany Thomas sent a letter to Mayor John Whitmire detailing concerns they have about the $650 million firefighter agreement deal. Then, on Wednesday, the mayor addressed the situation publicly during a city council meeting and had an open dialogue about what led to the agreement. Here's a look back on what has happened this week.
On Monday, District J Council member Edward Pollard and District F Councilwoman Tiffany Thomas called on Mayor John Whitmire to give more insight into the new labor agreement with the Houston Professional Firefighters Association. Under the new deal, firefighters are getting a $650 million settlement for back pay dating back to 2017. On top of that, a 5-year pay raise that's increasing their wages by 34%, among other benefits.
We want to know what that total cost is. Is that $1 billion? Is that over $1 billion to the taxpayers? We don't know.
I'm unable to justify delaying a capital improvement project, but the public is receiving a press release around $650 million, almost $1 billion package. I'm unable to go back to my residents that I represent and tell them the pathway of how we got there.
The council members say since they have received minimal engagement from Whitmire about the issue, they decided to send him a letter voicing their concerns. Their questions range from what role did the fire chief have in negotiations, how was the payout justified, and if the pay boost will impact the city's budget in the long run.
It's a little bit troubling or perplexing, I guess, that these council members seem to want to politicize this issue. They've been sitting on the horseshoe for 4 years during the attacks, voted to fund the attacks, so it's a little bit odd.
Houston Professional Firefighters President Marty Langton says he believes the settlement was made in the best interest for the city and the firefighters.
The time is now to move forward together, I think, and I hope that those council members understand that exacerbating a problem only makes it worse for the city's financial stability. The trial date was on March 25th, so I don't know if Councilmember Pollard, would have preferred to have over $1 billion in liability that the city would have incurred, or if he would have preferred to settle and know the fixed cost and know how we are going to manage this and protect the city's fiscal health.
Now, after I recorded those interviews on Tuesday, the next day, the mayor and council talked about the questions surrounding the agreement. Take a listen to what was said.
I welcome questions. This is something I enjoy talking about and answering questions about.
I think neither side wants to really get the other side thinking they got the better deal. This was a compromise. Both sides gave up something. Both sides got something. But I can talk about that privately.
First of all, if I tell you something, if I tell you a goat can pull a train, hook him up.
Yeah, and I get that, but I don't want to distract the point either.
No.
And so
but if you're going to say things like that, I did not sign.
That's fine, but I don't want to distract the point.
But it's important that we.
My point is that I want all of that for the firefighters too, and I've used council district service funds to invest in equipment, facility improvements, all of that. My point is when Hope comes to us and they're ready to negotiate.
I'm their best friend at this table.
Oh, okay, you may be their best friend, but we may not have the best money for them. We want to invest in fire. That's not the issue. That's not the.
That's what the issue before us is.
I'm telling you, that's not what it is. It's when we don't have a 5-year financial picture. It's when we don't have yet the negotiating a request of police and from municipal workers.
And I share your concern about the finances. And this was the business-like approach to get out of court and not have $1 billion+ exposure. It also allows us to recruit and retain EMS and firefighters. So I didn't go in this for the purposes of making people feel good. These are tough discussions, and I want to thank the stakeholders of Two-Road.
The mayor and the city attorney said they could not talk about the terms of the negotiations publicly because they were advised by legal counsel not to do so. The city attorney also says the plan is to use a bond and have taxpayers pay it off over the next 2 or 3 decades. Now, since this is an ongoing situation and we know a lot of you are invested in this matter, I'll have more later on in the show. I'll go ahead and send it back to you, Adam.